a lot of praise for their performance. This was a really shaky day at the office for the Patriots coaching staff today. So again, guys, what you're coming out of there right now? What kind of pops for you as your primary takeaways for this game?
Go for it.
Well, I'll say for one, it was just so many self-inflicted errors, and I feel like it was the coaching staff down to the players as well. Obviously, it always starts with the coaches, but when you look at all of the questionable calls for the coaching staff, now I think not having Christian Gonzalez shadow Puka Nacua was maybe the most egregious. Like even leading into the game, we were talking about, are they going to put Gonzo on the boundary again? Or are they going to stick him on Puka? Like DeMarcus Robinson obviously is not the same caliber of like number 3 receivers as we saw against the Niners and the Bears when we also saw Christian Gonzalez stick to the boundary instead of shadowing someone. But then it became very obvious, and the Rams do make it tough on you, but I mean, Puka's production just doesn't feel like he would have had nearly as much success if he did have Christian Gonzalez against him consistently. Now, Gonzalez also made plays against Cooper Kupp, and part of that was his boundary alignment against certain formations. So, it'll be interesting to at least look at the film and see if there was more to it than we could see live. Second half, Puka doesn't really do much of anything. Again, another thing I'll be curious to see. But it felt like the questionable or flat-out bad decisions from the coaching staff were always exacerbated by poor execution. Like, DeMarcus Covington calling the all-out blitz. Jonathan Jones is a veteran who should know if you are the only person who can make the tackle, you cannot try to make a play on the ball, because if you do, no one's going to be behind you. I was shocked when I saw him sprawl out. And then obviously I just assumed because it's John Jones, he must have, broken it up. Nope. Turns into a long touchdown. Then you talk about the Patriots not going for it on the 4th and 2, where Gerard Mayo said if it was 4th and 1, they probably would have gone for it, but it was just a range that they didn't feel comfortable with. Then they decide to kick the field goal, gets blocked because it looked like Trey Jacobs and Lasita Smith didn't execute their assignments. Then you have not kicking the field goal because it was just out of Joey Sly's range from pregame. Wind was a factor. Mayo acknowledged it. Sly acknowledged it. And then you go for the punt. You take a delay of game to give yourself more room and try to get a touchback, try to pin them deep. Then you end up with a touchback. It just felt like, no, the coaches didn't always put them in position to be as successful as possible, but you can't, as a player, make it even worse by making all these mental errors and egregious mistakes, and then penalties were another thing that kept shooting the offense in the foot when they seemed to have promising drives. So I know everyone automatically goes to the coaching staff, and everyone thinks I don't critique the coaching staff for whatever reason, maybe pay a little more attention. But again, I do think that the coaches made some mistakes and definitely had some calls they'd probably want back, but you can't make it worse as the players with your own self-inflicted errors.
Yeah, I'm with you. Nope, go. Sorry, John.
Can you guys see it? I've got it on the screen here. I honestly think with Taylor and I did not collaborate on this.
I know. Here we go.
and
Great minds think alike.
You guys are right. We hit literally almost every single one of them here. Including, I thought at the end, not having the Rams re-kick there and putting you on the 10-yard line. It's like, how much worse could it be? The 5, the 3?
Right.
And you need so there was just a bunch of different things here. And then I thought, I'm adding this one to the list as well, attempting that point the point after they got blocked, which again, I don't think is wrong, but it's inconsistent because against the Jaguars in London, in the same exact scenario, they opted to go for 2 and didn't get it, which left them down 9. And in this case, they did the other. So I felt like in so many cases, maybe you can justify it after the fact, which I know Gerard Mayo did, but it almost felt like flipping a coin in terms of what they chose to do and when they chose to do it, whether to go for it deep in the deep in Rams territory or to kick the 54-yarder. I don't feel like they were well thought out. I felt like they were just impulsive in the moment decisions, and again, I feel like they could have just as easily gone in the other direction, which is what is confusing and confounding. The other ones you mentioned, Taylor, are strategic. Leaving Gonzo, this is what the Patriots used to do to the Jets and Darrelle Revis. They're like, I'm going to throw an absolute jag out on the boundary, and I'm just going to waste Revis. He's just going to sit there and chase somebody who's running 9s all day long and just clearing things out.
For the love of the game.
Take him out of the game, and I'm just going to run a bunch of crossers and everything like that and just eat you up on your nickel guys and whoever is trying to stay with my better receivers who I'm not going to put out there. That I thought was weird. The treating Stafford like he's a rookie quarterback instead of a 16-year veteran and zero blitzing him and being too aggressive. These were choices that they made.
Right.
And so there was quite a bit there. And Mike, I'll go back to you on that. But there was so much, both in terms of planning, strategy, and then in game decision making that I think leaves you scratching your head. And I totally agree with Taylor on it's not all on the coaches. At the end of the day, the players have to do stuff too. And it was exacerbated by what followed in almost every case. They don't go for it late, or whatever, they don't kick the field goal, they get the touchback, 80-yard touchdown drive going the other way. Not a single play, but a series of plays that led to the decision looking like even more of a head scratcher in hindsight.